Yo, what's up, guys? Ash Cash, the financial motivator, and you are now tuned in to the Blowing Bubbles podcast. Guess what, y'all? Stay popping. Let's go.
Good evening. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? Hello. Hello. The three of us are here. Let me see. My sister is just joining. We're going to give everybody a minute or so to get on. I will ask that you all share this to your social media pages. Hello, Rashana.
Hello. I'm sorry, I'm coming.
Yes, so if you have Facebook or if you're on YouTube, please share this so that your audiences will also see this episode. And we will get started in a hot second. Share. My people on Facebook, make sure you guys give me a share. Thank you. Yes, we want a good audience. We have good guests today. I think we always have good guests. I'm partial.
I'm really trying to set this up to go live.
So you don't have to go live. You just have to share my live.
You're live, right?
Correct. My page is public. If you just go to my page, Rashana Rixter, and it's on there, or the Blowing Bubbles podcast page, and share that. Good evening, Cheryl Martin. That's my mom. All right. Stan meet Rashana. Rashana meet Stan.
Hi, Rashana. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm doing fantastic this evening.
Awesome.
Shana, if you could share this on your Facebook, if you got YouTube, tune in, wherever you at, please share it. We are going to get started. I wanted to give my brother Stan Bryant the opportunity to come on here and showcase who he is, what he has going, because this brother has some phenomenal stuff going on, and we do not want anybody to miss out. We got a great event coming this weekend, so I just took the opportunity. I know he wasn't on the flyer, so if anybody is confused, we didn't have time. We just locked this in today, and I said, let's go for it.
So, when people have something to say, they need to be on. They need to be showcased.
Man, listen, you better know.
Look, I'm ready to hear. Look, stay in demand. Let's go. I'm ready to hear what he has to say today.
Thank you all for having me. This is tremendous. It's like all of a sudden all of this happened. So I'm trying to forgive my lack of technical savvy or whatever. But I thank you so much, Karana, for inviting us on this evening.
Oh, we got an echo. Somebody has an echo. Is there somebody's phone is on Facebook or something?
Let's
see. You might have to turn the volume down on your phone.
Okay, let me get all the way out of that because I was working with. Okay, it's probably okay. There we go. Can you still hear it?
No, I don't think so. Maybe not. We'll see. Let's go.
Okay. Well, Karana, thank you so much for inviting me on this evening. I'm Stan Bryant, founder and the CEO of Unity Jazz Foundation, Incorporated. We are a 501c3 nonprofit that was created to keep the legacy of this great music which is our music, to keep it alive by empowering youth. So we host large, medium, small jazz events all over metropolitan Atlanta. But right now we're staged at Emory Performing Arts Studio with a dynamic concert coming up actually this Sunday, September 24th. But we've been doing this for approximately 8.5, almost 9 years.
Nice.
And we raise funds for our elementary, middle, and high school, and going into college. Our students, we raise funds for their scholarships, endowments. We buy instruments. We do the master classes, workshops, and all of this encompasses keeping the legacy of jazz music relevant through the young people. So we try to
Nice.
introduce this great music to young people, believe it or not, it is really catching on with the young people.
That's amazing. And so here at the Blowing Bubbles podcast, in case you didn't know, my mission is helping mothers survive motherhood through sisterhood while finding balance and leaving legacy, building legacy. Excuse me. So one thing that stands out to me is that you are helping the children. You are giving them something that's positive, it's powerful. Music is such a healer. One of the
Right,
things that the concept of blowing bubbles is all about hoping in something, finding that something that soothes your soul. And music is one
right.
of those things that does it for almost everybody. Music is a universal language, so no matter where you are, music can soothe your soul. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, do you
Absolutely.
all
That's right.
teach instrumentation?
Can you
Do
repeat
you,
that, Karan?
do you teach instrumentation and musicianship in your
Actually,
program?
actually, what we are creating right now, we have gotten the blessings from the executive director of the Boys and Girls Clubs, Mr. John Reed, has given us his blessings to create a curriculum for after school for the Boys and Girls Clubs. So we are in the process of creating a pilot for the Boys and Girls Clubs of metropolitan Atlanta. And prayerfully, this model will be a catalyst for the entire Boys and Girls Clubs. I have a team behind me right now that they have the skill set to help me get this into fruition. So we have the music educators, the marketing team, the different aspects of the curriculum to create a pilot for after school music education through the Boys and Girls Clubs. So that's our next big step that we're working on right now. We're right in the middle of our the concert season where we host these huge jazz concerts like the one that's taking place on Sunday. And we invite the young people to participate, to come in and participate on that program with the professional jazz performers. This Sunday, we are hosting, if I may go into that segment,
Please do.
uh,
Please do.
we're hosting the phenomenal jazz pianist Doug Karn. I don't know if you all remember Doug, but definitely Jean, his ex-wife. She's through the stratosphere now. Uh, Even though they are both kind of up in age, they are still very active on the touring scene. So we
Mhm.
have Doug Karn, the Doug Karn Quintet, happening on this Sunday at the Emory Performing Arts Studio, which is on the campus of Emory University. So that'll
Okay.
take place at 4 p.m. This Sunday, September 24th. And he'll have four phenomenal artists. Three of them are being flown in from New York, and the other two are our local uh, performers, our local artists right here in Atlanta. And they will be joining together to create a quintet with Doug Hard. That's happening uh, this Sunday.
Wow, that is awesome. How can people get tickets for that event?
That is an event. Well, let me start. The Performing Arts Studio. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I
It's an
haven't.
absolute. You haven't? Okay, it's an absolute amazing venue,
It's beautiful.
especially for like a jazz performance. It's in the black box format, if you know what that is, where the
I
whole
do.
room
Yeah.
is blacked out with a nice, beautiful stage. But it's a 200 seat concert hall,
Hmm.
and the ticket portal is unityjazz.org, which is also our website. So you may go to unityjazz.org, or the other ticket portal is unityjazz-doug-harn.eventbrite.com to get the tickets. Um, I would really recommend that you get the pre-sale tickets because it is kind of chaos, on the day of the show to come in, and pay at the door, and that's kind of like, excuse the expression, old school. But we do pre-sales, to try to alleviate all of the chaos at the beginning of the show. So I would
Sure.
recommend going out to those websites, unityjazz.org and the other ticket portal. We are all set up with Zelle and Cash App. Uh,
Okay.
we have gotten requests for Zelle and Cash App. So Zelle would be 770-899-1991. And our Cash App account is $Unity Jazz.
Let me say
Uh,
We
that.
kept
Say
up with
that
the
Zelle
times.
number again.
is
Say the
is
Zelle number again, please.
Yeah, the Zelle account is 770-899-1991. And both of those are set up now because we got so many requests for the Zelle and the Cash App. When normally we send you directly to the website to go to the ticket portal. So
Okay.
we're just set up in all in all ways, to accommodate ticket purchases. And we're also available on all social media platforms, including LinkedIn. Um, so that's it, basically.
Nice, nice, nice. I have the unityjazz.org is scrolling across the bottom on Facebook. I put the Zelle payment phone number in there. For ease of operation, I recommend just going to unityjazz.org and purchasing your ticket. That is the straightest method. Get these
Yes,
tickets. We want to fill this place up. 200 seats is not even a lot. I better not
it's
see an
not a
empty
lot.
seat there. I am going to
Yes,
be there. I'm challenging you all my bubbleheads. Where y'all at? I want to see all of you there. Let's fill this place
yes,
up.
yes.
Yes,
And the children from the Boys and Girls Club will be in the concert, in the building at the concert.
beautiful.
And at times we invite the Dukes Foundations, which is another fantastic organization that partners with us, that have his group, to be there. So I believe they're gonna be in the house also. So the young people are so involved in this. Also, it's not just we have the gamut from 16-year-olds all the way up to our 88, 92-year-old mothers in the concert hall listening to jazz music.
That is
So is
so
the
beautiful.
energy?
That's a beautiful bridge to from one
Yes,
generation to another. I love it. I love,
absolutely.
love, love it.
And
How
it's
can
I mean,
go ahead?
it's such an energetic atmosphere in there also.
I'm sure.
Uh,
Now, how can a child register or join to participate in the Unity Jazz program?
well, that's part of the curriculum that we are putting together. It will
So
have
that's
all the
coming
yeah, it's
soon.
coming soon, right?
All right, all right. And do
Because I
you
was
have
gonna say
volunteer
you just started
opportunities?
using it.
Yes, we have volunteer opportunities. They can go to that website, unityjazz.org. We have a link for volunteers. If you are have the capability of grant writing, uh, email savvy,
Look at the,
text.
look, my sister,
Me,
Did I hit you? Did I
me.
hit your
I do. I have that expertise. That's me.
okay.
right, all right.
There you go.
Sis, I'm gonna need
Yes,
you to go to unityjazz.org and click that
Right.
yes,
volunteer button and help
absolutely.
my brother out.
Yes.
Look, see how things work. I
So yeah,
love it.
we have so many opportunities at Unity Jazz because it's expansive and it can go in so many different directions for what we're doing. Um, and we just really invite as many as possible to come and help us with our mission of
Mm.
keeping this wonderful music alive by empowering youth. And we are reaching all metropolitan Atlanta schools and mainly our inner city or urban
The underserved,
Uh-oh.
and free.
He froze a little bit. It was getting
oh,
too good.
Yeah.
okay.
There you go. There you go.
It was getting too
Yeah.
good. It just had to freeze you for a
Okay, you
bit.
said you serve the inner
Oh,
city,
okay.
and I said underserved, but yes.
Yeah. Right. So that's basically it for Unity Jazz Foundation. We are growing by leaps and bounds, and our not sister, but partner radio stations are boosting us. You'll hear us they've been doing it all week. There's a great interview tomorrow and Saturday with Doug Karn and WCLK 91.9, Miss Reva Blue on Midday Jazz, her Midday Jazz show at 12 noon. That's tomorrow. Reva Blue will be interviewing the great Doug Karn on
Nice.
her radio program. And then on Saturday morning, Lavelle Hooks at WRFG 89.3 FM. Lavelle Hooks will also be interviewing Mr. Doug Karn for Unity Jazz Foundation. So those two
Wonderful.
things are happening this week, and they've been announcing them, the program on the radio all week. So the word is getting out.
Yes, yes, yes. And we intend to continue doing our part to spread the word about Unity Jazz, everything that you have going. Who do you have coming up next? When's your next event?
Well, believe it or not, we're taking a break because we've been at it for since January. We have had some phenomenal shows, beginning with the great Scotty Barnhart, who is the music director for the Count Basie Orchestra. He was here in January with a quintet at the Emory Performing Arts Studio. All of these shows are at the Emory Performing Arts Studio. Then we
Okay.
had Miss Tony Bird, the singer Tony Bird, who is a dynamic vocalist locally here, but she's known all over, with a 17-piece orchestra that was backing her. She did a tribute, or she does a tribute to Miss Natalie Cole. So that was just
One of
absolutely
my faves.
amazing.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. I
Oh,
hate I missed that one.
you would have loved it. And I love Tony Bird's production so much that we are working on giving it like a multi-city tour for that production. So we're working on that also. Then it was Milkshake. I don't know if you know Milkshake. Milkshake, the trumpet player, the local icon here, the trumpet player. He was on with his beautiful wife, Christine, and Miss Cam Showers, the vocalist. That was just last month. And then we'll have Doug this month. And then we'll roll it over to December. Our next one after this one is our high school Jazzy Christmas, where we'll have several of the high school bands coming together on stage to present a Christmas concert.
Beautiful.
Make sure you check out Jonesboro. Make sure you check out Jonesboro High School. By the way, just that's a shameless plug. That's my daughter's band, so make sure you check them out because they're going to be, in New York next year for the Macy's Day Parade. So it's one of the hottest bands, by the way. So just throw that out there. Just throwing that out there,
The class of such and such and such. That's my alma mater.
Just throwing that out there. Just that's a hot band.
Okay. That's
my alma mater. This was Motherhood. I'm just gonna throw my daughter out there.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. If you want the contact, I can.
Yes, please do. Please do.
You all are gonna link anyway. We got grants. We got millions to get. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I graduated from Jonesboro in 1970.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was
19 so and so. I love it.
Yeah, that's my hometown. The class of 1975 to be exact.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes, I graduated from Jonesboro. Yes, that's my alma mater.
Nice.
And the Cardinals.
See how things work out. Things work out perfectly.
The red and the black.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in the band at Jonesboro all throughout, the whole course. And I love Jonesboro, and of course that's my hometown. That's where all my peeps are. And we gotta do this. We gotta hook up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If it's okay, I can text each other the numbers. I can.
Yes.
I'll make it happen.
That is fine.
Okay.
I'll make it happen.
Fantastic.
I love it. And I want to make sure that we all keep in contact. Shauna, we linked, but.
Right.
I love to tell the success stories down the line. And I have only been doing this podcast for a couple months. And I'm telling you, I have some amazing, positive, and powerful success stories that have already come out of this show. And this is what it's about, just being that resource. I have always prided myself on connecting the dots.
Yes.
And I love to just see things happen. This is nothing new for me. It's like just being obedient to what I'm called to do. And things fall in place. I don't have to do anything extra. It's just I'm out here blowing bubbles. That's it.
Isn't it amazing?
I love being a vessel. Being a vessel is what I would say. It's like I feel like you say you connect the dots. I say I'm a bridge. So it works. I stay connected for a reason because you never know what somebody else will need that you have contact with.
My friend Kenny connected me to Stan. Kenny, I love him to pieces. He would not rest. He said, "Did you call Stan yet? Did you call Stan?"
Yeah, he's a great guy. I'm
just gonna give him your number. I'm like, please, because I get so busy and I'll forget. Call me by any means. If somebody, all my information is public. I'm a realtor, so all of my information is public. I don't hide.
Right.
That's my number on.
But I get it. I understand you're busy. We're both busy. But this moment, since we're all connecting, is just the way that it's supposed to.
Absolutely. And I want to take some time to share, to holler at our people. Facebook comments are active. Cheryl Martin, Tanisha Bulla, Valencia Pierce, Victoria Poole. Thank you all. Thank you all. They are
Hey,
active in the
B.
comments.
All right.
So I want to make sure we don't neglect. And wait a minute, I got some activity on Facebook. Mr. Black,
Oh,
okay, Mr. Blackie, the regular podcast. So I'm getting I'm hearing that we got some major feedback or reverb on the thing. It's still some echo going on.
oh, okay.
Mine?
Let me check my
Is it
setup
mine? And
here.
are we
I
still
don't have
good?
anything on.
So the
I
audience
turned
is hearing
everything
it.
off.
The audience is hearing it. Can I get an update? Am I sounding better? 1 2 microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Shalana Dunlap. The reverb is fixed now. It was only
Okay.
on KJ mic. Okay, so I did adjust. Wonderful. Thank you. And I appreciate my audience so much. They know I'm not that tech savvy. You know, I need
I
some
have my people
assist
on.
on that.
Yes. I
So
shared
thank
it.
you for
So my
keeping me
people
straight.
are
The regular podcast. Listen, those folks over there, they got some deep episodes. Check out SoundCloud here. And while I'm thinking about it, I want to make sure I give a good shout out to J. Marie Bright on Formal Wear. That is a connect. I have businesses that I'm affiliated with. I have the Ragers Anonymous. I love this business. When you got some stress going on and you want to do a corporate thing that's something different, Ragers Anonymous will pull up with a whole trailer and let you smash up some stuff. They have computers, they have dishes, they have cabinets, whatever. You need to smash up. Oh, the divorce party. Let's put some pictures of Mr. So and so or Mrs. So and so and smash up some pictures. Get them out. BigRagers.com. I love that business. I can't wait. One day you're going to see a video of me smashing some stuff. I don't know what I'm
You
going
go
to
into
do.
the
Go,
rage room tomorrow.
great.
You go into a rage room.
Right
Take
there
care of
great.
some stuff.
It's the
Look,
mobile
let me
white
find
room.
out. Let me find out she has a raise somewhere.
Oh man. and,
I don't
and
smile
please,
all the time, y'all. I promise you, I get tired too.
oh man, I need that one. Please send that to me.
Yes, I was in BigRagers.com. They'll pull up, they'll do gender reveals. You can smash the thing and some pink or some blue will pop out. There's all kind of different things you can do.
Oh
I
wow,
love
that is
that.
nice.
So yeah, I'll think of another business or two that I'm affiliated with going down the line. I love to try to circulate our money in our
Right.
community. I want to make sure that my people know my people.
Right.
So on Blowing Bubbles podcast, my 5 core passions are love, business, service, music, and food. And I'm going to always intertwine one or more of those 5 things into the episode. So I am definitely going to stop talking as much. I feel like I am rambling. I want to get to my sister Rashana, and I do want to. Stan, you are more than welcome to stick around if you want. If you don't want to, I will not be bothered. But we gonna
I,
have some mommy talk.
yes, I would love to. I have another appointment. Did you hear the phone ring? It's almost like I want to hear everything, but I
Well, this
just got
is
a call
recorded.
for
You can go to my YouTube channel, and
yes.
it's Blowing Bubbles podcast. Look for the lady with the orange, yellow, and green background. She's a black lady with an afro blowing bubbles. That is me.
Okay, cool.
All
Yes,
right. Well, thank
absolutely.
you
I
so
have.
very much. I will see you Sunday. Stay
Thank you so
positive,
much,
man.
ladies. Thank you so much. And Rashana, we will be in touch, okay?
Most definitely.
Yes, we have to. And I have enjoyed this so much. This is a very beautiful and viable platform that you have. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for inviting us. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Yes, you will see me Sunday. All
Okay.
right. Take care, Stan. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Rashana.
Run. They say the YouTube link is unavailable. It said the YouTube link is not available on Facebook. The one because I shared your.
You can watch it on Facebook Live or go to the Blowing Bubbles podcast. Just search
Yeah, I
Blowing
sent
Bubbles
that to
podcast
them. But I was.
on YouTube.
There you go. I was like, he's having some difficulties. Corona,
What's
how
up,
you?
girl? I am good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. It's good. Look, I'm on your platform. I'm excited. Yes. Finally get to be on your platform. We've
Finally,
been talking about it for a long time.
we have. So what? Hey, Mark Hampton, what's up, baby? So I want to officially introduce you. Oh my goodness, it has been a while. My sister girl, Rashana Rixter. She is, first of all, let me start with this credential. International #1 best-selling author. Let me let that thing breathe. International #1 best-selling author. She is a mommy to 15-year-old Cadence, graduate of Savannah State University, bachelor in English language and literature. Man, you just like to read, apparently. Good Lord.
Perhaps a little bit. It's a story behind that. It's a story behind it. But.
Okay, you got a few, social community activities. I see you are president of your chapter of Beta Psi Sigma. Beta. Did I say right? Beta Psi.
Beta Psi chapter
Lord,
of Sigma Beta Psi.
I'm reading this, and it looked like Beta Psi Sigma. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's Beta Psi chapter of Sigma Beta Psi.
Okay, no wonder I was seeing a bunch of different betas. Okay. Hey, MJ. And what's up, my sister?
Yeah.
Yes. Member of the dynamic Delta chapter of the Order of the Eastern Star. Love it, love it, love it. You got a whole bunch of credentials. Listen, I'm going to encourage you all. And you are, wait a minute, national beauty pageant queen as well. Woo! Listen, here's what I'm going to encourage you all to do, aside from follow my sister. This here book, let me see if I can get it. Yeah, girl, I got the book. I got the book.
She ready. I did.
Broken Crayon Still Color. Woo! Look, I got you. You forgot you did all that. Girl,
I forget.
This year I have been, just because of the podcast, and I've been talking about putting people on the podcast, man, I have been buying a bajillion books. Lord have mercy, I need a bigger library. But yet, Broken Crayon Still Color. That title alone.
Yeah.
Woo. All right, let's get into it. I want to start with, where did your inspiration for that project come from?
The funny thing with that project, it didn't start with knowing that I was going to have a story, because when it was presented to me, I'm a type of person, everything happens to me in threes. So when the first one came out, I kept saying, okay, I don't really have trauma. I was like, what is trauma in my life? And, I usually had a great life, and throughout the times of just reading the stories from the first one, I was like, these are inspirational. I couldn't put the book down. And so when Stacey Bryant brought it to me again, Coach Stacey Bryant brought it to me again, she was like, do you want to write? I was like, I don't have anything to say. And then she brought it to me again. I went through ICU Academy and became a life coach. So I am a certified life coach, branding life coach, by the way. Just have to throw that out there. But through the class, she asked me again. I was like, I don't know. So then another time I went to her conference, and it spoke to me. And so I was like, okay, I'll write. And they always say, just get into something and then it may come to you. So I decided to do that. When I tell you, I was writing a whole different story, when one day I just sat down because I was supposed to be going somewhere, and everything just kept happening. I couldn't go. And I just sat in my house. I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden I just started crying. I didn't know where it was coming from. And the way that Stacy would always say is you had a breakthrough. So I was writing I had a paragraph prior to writing this story. And everything just started flashing back of memories of this one thing that it took me so long to forgive myself for, that I was just like, or something that, you see on TV, but you would always say, that can never happen to me. How could this happen to me? I would never think like that. But you always say you can never say never until you are in that particular, and so it's like, it just kept flowing for me. And to really put that on paper, it was almost therapeutic for me. Because I only told maybe 3 people in my life prior to writing this story. And after I wrote it, I can't turn it back now, but I felt like people feel like they're alone in situations.
Right.
And so that's really what my inspiration was. I don't want people to feel like they're alone, because trauma is in different aspects. Trauma is not just from what happens to you, it's what comes of you. And so that's really what happened for me. I wanted to make sure that I was a voice for the voiceless, or for women that go through postpartum. And it's real. It's real. It's the most realest thing that I've ever experienced. And I would never change being a mother. I love my daughter. She's the only thing in my life, without a shadow of a doubt, that I can say I did right. So for me to go through that, it almost was an oxymoron for me to say, you're going to do this, you thought of this, but your child is your most precious gem of your life. It happens. It is a mental trauma. It is a mental situation that you can't turn back. Right. And that you are trying to overcome, but it has nothing to do with how you actually feel about what you're going through. It has nothing to do with that. And that's where I was sitting. So writing it actually helped me help others. And, we didn't always set out to become international bestselling authors, but it was, when that happened, it was like, okay, now I can speak to the world. And
so
really
clear, this is an anthology series, and you are one of the contributing writers in this series.
Correct.
Okay. And
so,
your particular story is centered around postpartum depression.
Correct.
Okay. And since the publication of this, how has that changed your life with regard to that particular condition?
I'm able to really speak about. I wasn't really, before I wrote the story, I wasn't able to speak on really how women deal with postpartum, but I have been able to, not only through my being a life coach, I can actually speak life into other women that go through it. Whereas I wasn't that person to really speak on it, because I didn't really understand it fully at the time. So for me, it became therapeutic. It became a lesson to other women that you're not alone, that you're able to go through this and still love whoever you are, love your child no matter what. And that is really what I need people to understand. I love my daughter. I love my child. That is my life. But things happen.
And one of the most common things that I've heard from women who have dealt with that is they're often second guessing themselves, and they have to keep restating, I love my baby, because of the thoughts that are swirling in their mind. And it's not that you don't love your child, but there's something in there that's broken, something that a person can't quite figure out. Why am I sad? Why am I not wanting to hold my baby? Why am I not able to get up and cook? Why am I not, I don't even feel like brushing my own.
I feel like life is what it is. Yeah. It's like,
there's an Instagram video. I don't know if it's Instagram or if it's TikTok, but I saw a video recently on Instagram this young lady, and I tried to get to her, but it was like remixed so many times I couldn't find the original. This young lady is on there crying her heart out, talking about this is the worst thing I've ever done. I wish I would have known. Nobody ever told me I have bipolar disorder, and nobody ever told me that I shouldn't have a baby. That's the worst thing I ever did. I should have never had kids. I don't want no baby. I love my baby, but I don't want to be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart was going out to not only her, but to that child.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's a baby. She said, and she admitted in this video that she did not have a partner. She was just linking up with somebody and she got pregnant and she knew what it was and she chose to have that baby. And now she's in it alone. Well, you hear a lot of men complain about women doing that because they feel like they gave up or they lost the power of their choice, when in reality they surrendered that power of choice when they slept with that woman raw. So there's that. But this woman is really crying out, and I don't know that she has the services and the resources and the community surrounding her to get the help she needs. I
A
hope
lot
she
of times
does.
you don't, but a lot of
A
times you
lot of
don't.
times you
You're
don't. A lot
alone.
of people don't put it on Instagram too. They don't make a public cry. And sometimes we have situations that end tragically because they just end up snapping. So how long do you recall how long you dealt with the situation before you feel like it got better?
Um, for me, it was only probably for about 6 months of
Okay.
when Cadis was born. That I was fully. I felt like I was fully at the point where I can handle everything, and I was okay. So I was, I was with her father. So, and it has nothing to do, even with him, but we were young. It was. I think I'd never been around children. Or babies, I would say, never been around babies at the time. So, I feel like my child, saved my life because it sat me down, but I also still was young. I still, I was still in the club. I was still doing my thing, but it was a thing that all of that happened so fast. Like I almost went into like this microwave family that I wasn't ready for, and so even when Cadence remembers certain things, I would always say, we were young, that was a thing. Like my mom was, I was 20. I had just gotten out into my 20s. And so I didn't know anything how to be a mother. That was just not a thing. So, 3 months she would cry all the time. That was not a thing for me. I didn't understand why she's crying. And I felt alone. And I felt like there was no, my mother and I moved back home with my mom. And it was just bad. To me, that part of my life was bad. It was dark. I felt alone. I felt like I didn't have anybody.
Even though you were in your mother's home, you felt alone.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
bad. So, but it got to the point where I found out my mother was like, you know how you always say, well, you chose to have this child, like you're gonna have to learn the process of motherhood, and you're gonna have to learn. So once I got the hang of it, okay, let me watch her. I get her. So it was like you need to learn on your own. You got to go through things to understand really how hard or really appreciate what you have. So that's where I was in motherhood for me. So it was
And what
a
was the
good
turning
3
point
months.
for you? What made you shift? What brought on the
Um,
shift where you feel like you started to embrace motherhood?
she was 6 months. I had just gotten a job, and I would never forget that job. And I was able to really, because after I moved home, I wasn't working. So I just was at home and just depressed. So I got a job. I started working and got somebody to watch my child, and she was not crying at all, really sleeping through the night. And we were connecting a little bit better. So it was, even with the breastfeeding, she was latching. It was different. Almost at the first 3 months, it was latching. She was latching. She was doing things. She was eating. It was almost like I felt like I was feeling it as a mom. we weren't attached. So after 6 months, everything was kind of aligning. She was happy. She was a happy baby. That's how I always say. I always look at her like her pictures were. She was like the happiest baby I knew, seen around. So it was that. It was her smile, seeing her smile all the time and looking at me, like, okay, this is my person.
She was saying, "Mommy, it's gonna be okay."
So when she would
It's
smile,
so
it was like everything was right for me. She started to
that's
smile. She
beautiful.
stopped crying. So that was my turning point. The smile, the connection, and her being, I felt like I was doing okay. It wasn't the best, but I always say I'm not the best mother, but I am the only mother she has, and I'm gonna do the best that I can with what I have. So that was always my model through those years. It was, and she always say, yeah, she didn't know that she didn't have the finer things or whatever. I made it work. I made it
Right.
shake. She never felt anything. So that's really those turning point for me when she'll look at me like nothing's wrong. And
That's
then
beautiful. And
life is
oftentimes
great.
we're so hard on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
As mothers, we have this projection of perfection,
Mm,
and we need
yeah.
to we need to ditch that. We are so very hard on ourselves. We
We got to
think
give
that
ourselves grace.
we go
That
a lot
grace.
of us go into this state of anxiety and frustration because we're trying so hard to give our kids everything that we feel like we didn't have. And then we just end up
Mhm.
stressing ourselves out. But that projection of perfection is a chronic disorder, in my opinion. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm standing on that. We gotta, and it's not just mothers that do it. A lot of people do it. I once I realized that I was doing that, it was paralyzing to me. I had analysis paralysis. I've been trying to launch a podcast
Mm,
since 2017.
mm, mhm.
I
Yeah.
kept waiting for everything to be right. And then it was like I belonged to this entrepreneur group and they was like, do it ugly, do it scared, just do it. I was like,
Just do it.
okay. And so
Ain't
here I
nothing to
am
it but to
and
do
I'm
it.
doing it. I'm doing every
Right.
week. Listen, my loyal followers, I love y'all so much. Every week I have a problem with the sound. And the problem is because I unplugged this mixer thing so I can use my laptop. And I mean, every week I got to do the settings over again.
It
So
happens.
I have a
You're
problem with
gonna
the
get
sound
better,
every
and
week.
it's gonna be
But if I
awesome.
would have waited to get everything right, I mean, I still want these cameras. I want the 4K cameras all over the place so I can do multiple angles. I wanted to, man, if I had waited, I'd still be sitting there trying to get started. So I'm so
Right.
excited. I've had so much amazing content that I created. I'm making relationships and people's lives are being changed. So I'm so
Hmm.
glad that I am able to do what I'm doing. And this is going to be so much bigger than it's going to blow up, pun intended.
And it
So
is.
it really is. It really is. I'm not only am I speaking it and manifesting it, but I'm doing the work. So I am excited. Now, how is your daughter now? You said she's in the band. What instrument does she play?
She plays the cymbals.
Okay.
She started not to like it because she wanted to dance. So she initially tried out for the dance to dance. But she didn't make the dance team. But she's gonna try it again. So we're gonna, definitely knock on wood for that. But she's been a dancer all her life. So, the dancing dolls, they're called the dancing dolls, on her team as well. So she really wants to dance. But she's actually getting the hang of cymbals. And I told her, I said, you know what? You on the drum line. I was like, you need to watch the drum line. Listen, you are
And
still on the
listen,
drum
the
line,
percussion keeps it going.
doing
That's
her
what the
thing.
band is
So
about, the percussion section.
yes, but she loves music. So music has been a thing for us since she was little. That's the only thing I could to use when she would cry and everything when she was colicky, all the time. So music was fed our soul, got us through those months and those years when she was younger. So yeah, so she plays the cymbals in Jonesboro High School band, and
Nice.
I'm very proud of her. So she's A and B student. She's been like A and B and straight A student since she was in kindergarten. teaching the class. As I always say, teaching the class in pre-K. So she's been that type of
we're
student.
gonna connect you with Stan, and once they come to Jonesboro, she's gonna get whatever instruments you want. We're gonna
Right. But that'll be a
it
great, because if they use bands, their team is actually going to be in Macy's Day Parade. They were the only Georgia team, Georgia high school team that got chosen. So she's going to be in the Macy's Day Parade. I'm excited because I'm going. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see her on the strip in New York. I'm excited to see this happen for her.
Wonderful.
And love it because she loves her high school. So I'm really happy that she's flourishing and doing her thing and like she always does.
That's awesome.
I'm her biggest fan.
Take me through the middle stages of going from having postpartum depression and finally making that connection with your baby where things start to smooth out. To what were those middle years like? Raising Hayden.
Being a single mother wasn't easy. Definitely because, like you say, not having a partner, not having somebody to help you through those years. But she was my ride or die. She was, everywhere I went, she was my person. I was always excited waiting until she got to this age that, when she's 15, I was like, okay, that's my little rider, But, through the middle years, it was still, we did dance. We were very active. I was that mom. I was, what they quote unquote, soccer mom. I was a dance mom. My life revolved around my kid and her life revolved around me. She was my person. So for me, it was just that. We were peas in a pod. That was my everything. So through the middle years, she would still be active. So I always think that's, little me. That was my mini me. So you were just amazing, it's just amazing from, struggling through, oh my God, what have I done? I brought her in this world of, for me, it was abyss. It was dark. It was all that. That's what I saw. And for me to feel like I gave her the service because I brought her into this. And I felt like I made a huge mistake that I brought her into this world of what I made. I blame myself for so much, so long. And I had to start forgiving myself for thoughts of that because I was never going to, I had this thing, I was never going to give her up. I was never going to. And then, I'm very spiritual. So I had a connection with her and knew what she would look like. I had dreams about this when I was pregnant with her. So to go from there to having this feeling like a regret to now I love like everything flourishing and how she is. And I watch her and I look at her and I was like, wow, like I made this, I made this vessel of beautiful, just a special person. Her personality is big, her heart is big. So for me to go from not having this world of I can't be here, to wow, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad this decision happened. It's the most turnaround, amazing moments to watch her and be proud.
Wonderful. Now, what advice can you give someone who's dealing with postpartum depression, and what resources might you direct them to?
Talk to somebody. If you feel like people don't understand, make sure you find somebody to talk to, because I didn't think that I had anybody to talk to. But it's more prominent now. A lot of people go through it, so it's different stages of postpartum as well. Sometimes they don't have mine. I feel like I had the deepest thought of depression, but sometimes you're just feeling alone that you need friends.
What made you feel like you had the deepest form of?
Because I isolated myself. So to that point where I felt like I was the only person in my group that had a child. I felt like nobody wanted to be around me. So I just decided to just isolate myself. So I constantly put myself in a box of alone. And once you get alone and you get in your head, you don't have any outs. So all I
Did you
had
get to
was,
the point of being suicidal?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It was dark. Yeah. I had multiple thoughts about it. So it was, yeah. I was there. I was there to the point of almost, premeditation. So it was bad for me. But other
Did it
people
ever
may not
escalate to you
experience that.
thinking,
They may just feel the depression, but it still gets you to a point where you feel like you don't have an out. So, like you said, you have to give yourself grace. You're doing a great
for
thing.
sure?
You are doing awesome. You are awesome mother. No matter how that looks like to others, you are doing what you can do for what you have. So
Mm-hmm.
once you understand that you, whatever you are doing, whatever you have, I don't care, even mothers who have like they're entrepreneurs and they have a 9 to 5, but they have 3 kids and they're doing it on their own. And they're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And it's like I'm overwhelmed. Stop, pause, give
That part.
yourself grace. Because you're doing it for them. You're doing it for you to be better for them. So
Yeah.
my advice is always to give yourself grace. Stop, pause, look around. You're doing
Yeah.
great. You're
And
an awesome
I
mother.
try to
You're an
I
awesome
try to
mother,
encourage
ladies.
mothers. Yeah, I encourage mothers a lot and say, listen, when I had my fourth child, the first one was 5 years old. I
Mm.
promise you, you will survive.
Right.
If I don't share anything else with you, I promise you, you will survive. You just have to take a deep breath and ditch that anxiety,
Mhm.
man, because that
Yeah,
anxiety will quickly creep up into depression.
it
And
will. You won't know what to do. You'll be
we don't get
overwhelmed.
we can get out of our
Right.
own mode, man.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's like there were so many things that if we let ourselves give in to the what ifs and the oh my God, it's gonna go downhill. But if you
Hmm.
just be like, okay, this is what I have to do, this is what it
Hmm.
is. Like there was no internet when I had children at
Mm-mm.
all. I had my
Mm-mm.
first child
We still
34
had
years ago.
dial up. I still had
No,
dial
there
up.
was no internet. No, the internet had not
Oh,
been
it was
invented.
dial up for me. It was
So
what they call it,
I
Flintstones.
couldn't Google something. There was nothing to look up. Wasn't no, we still had libraries with physical encyclopedias. If you want to know something, girl, you go to the library and buy a book. There was no internet, so a lot of times people it's in our head and then we let that and then something chemical happens, which I'm not a doctor or nor a psychologist, but yeah, there's something chemical that happens and then our psyche kicks in telling us, "Oh snap, I don't know what to do." It's a
Hmm.
natural thing.
Hmm.
Humans have
Like you
been
said, it was a chemical
born for
imbalance. It's
millions
like
of
that
years.
switch that clicks on in your
Yeah,
brain, and it
and you
says,
tell yourself you
"There's a
can't.
problem. There's a problem. There's a problem."
When in reality, you can. You will be fine.
Mm-mm.
I love it. I love, love, love
Yeah.
hearing that, you all are fine and that the relationship is good and solid. Now, does she have a relationship with her father?
So she lives with her father now, because
Okay.
it was a thing that was the most hardest thing that I had to do, as a mom, to almost not have her in my home, because he wasn't in her life growing up, but they got to a point where she wanted that relationship. And I was like, you're gonna have to have it. You're gonna have to make it happen. Because what I wasn't gonna be was, because I always say I'm not a baby mama. I'm the mother of this child. So I told him I didn't want it to look like a bitter, crazy woman or whatever. So I didn't want that to be the case. That was not what I wanted. So for me, I told her she had to make that decision. So one summer I said, you're going to, spend time with him, and every other summer it got better, over time. So, through COVID, it didn't matter where she went, where she lived, because they were virtual. So we tried it out. And because he was like, I want to have a relationship with her. I want to. So, we always talk about, absent fathers at the time that we do this a lot, right? So when we stop doing this and we actually listen to them, and when they come back, stop doing that. So I didn't want to be that woman. I didn't want to be that mother where now the father is coming back and I'm still doing this. He's not here. Why are you not here? You missing these years, and now he's trying. And that's what it started to stop him from having that relationship in the end. So I said, okay, let's go. And then when COVID went away and they went back into school, he was like, do you want to continue? I said, it's got to be her decision. If she wants to stay, then that's going to be her decision. It won't be mine. And so many people was like, why would you do that? He hasn't been there. I said, stop. I'm not going to be that mother. I'm not going to be that woman. And this was her decision. It wasn't my decision. And I put it, she's old enough to choose. She was 12.
So making that choice and taking that stance. A lot of people don't even take the time to think about what might be best for the child. We get so emotional, and we get, we just get in our heads about whatever whatever we thought should be and all that. And it's like, man, it's not about you. It's about the child. I do a segment on here sometimes called the co-parent conversation, where I want to foster healthy and restorative communication with parents who might have a void in their communicating. Right. I have never, there's not a soul that can say I ever kept them from their child.
Right. That's what I said.
No matter
it's going to be you, not me.
I don't believe it. I don't believe in it. I don't care. So I commend you for that. And I want to salute him for, stepping up and being who he should have been, even if he took a time out.
Right. Okay. It doesn't matter when, as long as he's here now.
Came back around. Good job, brother.
And these are the years that I need him to be in her life. Her younger years is like she, was developing her life. Now she's developed and she's starting to, be a young woman. So I need a strong man in her life
to treat a woman,
and who is her father to be there. Right. And so now she would know what how a man is supposed to be in her life. So that, because she has strong male figures, my father, God rest his soul, my uncle, God rest his soul, like she had male figures, but it's nothing like a girl's father, her dad, it's nothing like it. And I was not going to rip her from that opportunity. I had the best father, in my opinion, ever. So I never would do that to my child. He stepped away. He was away for a while, but like I said, we were young, and he was still young boy too. So it was, and we've known each other since I was 12 and he was 13. So I've known him my whole life. So
does he have any other children?
He does, yes.
Okay.
But Cadence is his oldest.
Okay.
But and he claims other children too. But Cadence is his oldest child.
Are they in the home with her and them? Are they all in the home together? Okay.
It's just him and her in the home. So, but she now has that relationship with him, and it's of course it's going to be the same trials and tribulations, but I see her. I have a relationship with her. That was like me. Her being in his home doesn't change that I'm still her parent. I'm still her mother. I'm still her guardian. That doesn't change. It just, her location changed, where she resides changed. And she's flourishing. So I would never change this for the world.
That's what matters most.
And so it just, I'm not gonna be selfish. Yes, I would love her in the home with me, of course. But she's still my child. I'm gonna still go see her. If she was in my home, all rules still apply. So she know. But yeah, so that doesn't change being a mother. Wherever your child is, you are still a mom. So it didn't matter what home she's in. She could have been in my mom's home. I'm still her mother.
How about that?
So it didn't matter to me. So that was a big thing for me. My mother was like, "Why you gonna do that? He ain't been there." I said, "Stop doing that. Don't do that. You know, like you don't need to do that to men who so men fight to be with their children. I wasn't going to be like that. I wanted her to have that relationship. Although I was numb to everything. Don't get me wrong. I was that woman too. I'm numb to this. I'm like, he ain't here. I could do this on my own. But in reality, a girl needs her father and her mother. A boy needs her father and her mother too. So a child needs their parents
both
to
parents,
be
period,
both parents. No matter where they are, any child needs both of their parents. So it needs to be a healthy relationship between the two. So like I commend you for having that co-parenting, because not many people know how to co-parent. And the one thing, we could fight and argue all the time, but the one thing we do come into collective is about that little girl. That's very much, we are very collective, and we're strong unit when it comes down to her.
That's good. Now, what is your relationship like with your mother? Not the sigh and the eye roll.
I love my mom. My mother and I have had an interesting relationship since I was little. But I love my mother, with everything. As everybody always say, my mother and I are almost like alike so much. Why my daughter and I are alike a lot. But my mother is just, she's just my mother. She has her ways, just how she is. And so a lot of times that clashes with me. My dad used to always say, I could divorce your mother, but you can't. So you need to know how to deal with your mother, deal with her, have a relationship, no matter what kind of relationship it is, learn how to deal with it. Learn your mother enough to be able to, deal with it, to learn her side and be able to function, to be able to have a relationship with her. So we're okay. I talk to her. She's now a better grandmother than I would always say mom, but they always say, you get a second. It's always like that. So I always commend her but she taught me so many things that I probably would never have if I didn't have the mother that I do. Because I would always say I didn't have a childhood. So my dad gave me the playful, childlike part of me, but the business side was my mother. She was CEO of her company once she got downsized, and she was a single mother. So she paved the way for so many other youth, being leader of so many things. So for me, she taught me the finer things of life without realizing monetary, right? So that's kind of how it is for me, me and my mom. She took me to certain aspects of business, taught me the business side of how to run a business, how to be a CEO and a COO. Like I was bookkeeping at the age of 9. So, so for me, I knew how to.
My episode last week. I said
yeah. So, I learned so many business sides. So now being a CEO of my own company, wonderful connect. Being in marketing, because that was who she was. She was in public relations. I learned what I do from my mother. So that's the one thing it is, like my skill set came from my mom. My business mind came from my mother. I give all that to her. Watching her run businesses, being MCs to a lot of things, being a writer. That was my mom. All that came from my mother. I kind of, took it a different step. My mother did, communications, mass comm, but I did English. So it's almost in the same field. So everything that the steps my mom did, newspaper, I now have a franchise. I am editor-in-chief of City Girl Magazine, Atlanta. So, the same way.
You're dropping a lot of stuff, and
I did,
we get into it, not just gloss over it. I did put Wonderful Connect on the bottom of the screen going across. We're gonna let this stuff hit like it's supposed to.
I just threw them out there, just in case.
You did. And if I wasn't actually listening, I would have missed it. So, Wonderful Connect. One being ONE, Durful.
Correct.
How did you come up with that name? Why is it spelled like that?
Because that's my line name.
Ah, okay.
That is my line name in beta size. So my line name is Wonderful. So I just did a play on words of wonderful. And so connects, I feel like I'm the bridge. So that's where connects came from. So I just kind of, and I'm connecting one world to the next because I'm a marketing manager. So that's kind of where Wonderful Connects came to play. I just kind of
Okay.
put different sides of my life into one name and made one branch. So that's kind of what that is for that. But as far as City Girl magazine, that actually I just came about that
And that is
through Earl Raymond.
SITI girl.
Yes, Atlanta magazine. So I have the Atlanta branch, Atlanta franchise. So we have different franchises. We have also Virgin Islands. We have Delaware, Nashville, just to name a few. We have Indianapolis. Um, it's so many of us out there. Just to kind of branch off to name a few of us. But City Girl magazine, it uplifts, enriches, and encourages women in different aspects of their life, no matter what profession you have. And if you're doing something in the community, we want to feature you. We want to promote you, right? And doing things for themselves, not only for the community, but you're doing it for yourself. And we want to showcase that. And so I have features in the magazine as well as you can become a part of my cover. So yeah, so that's really what it is. And if you have ads you want to promote, and you have like a flyer, that's something that I would love to promote as well. Upcoming, we're going to start listing like the upcoming events in Atlanta. So if people have events that they want to for us to actually be a person pressed to be there, so I can cover it. Please hit me up because I would love to cover your event and your storyline in our magazine. So that's the new upcoming things in the next couple of months. But next month I'm doing actually a special cover because breast cancer is near and dear to my heart, as well as domestic violence. So I am actually going to promote in warrior women. I don't say survivors of domestic violence, and I don't say survivors of breast cancer. I say they're warriors. They're thriving and surviving through any and all aspects of their life. So that's really what October issue is going to be about for City Girl. So if you know of a woman who has been affected by breast cancer or domestic violence, please hit me up at Atlanta at citygirl.com and send me an inquiry because I would love for to be able to promote this woman and put her on a showcase because she's thriving and thriving and surviving. Although I don't like surviving, you still did. You went through what you went through, but it didn't stop you. You have a story to tell. You have her story to tell, and I want to be able to put it out there for you. So I'm really excited for the women that have been interested to be able to tell her story for them. And but breast cancer is near and dear to my heart. My best friend mother passed away from breast cancer, and as well as my grandmother was diagnosed at the age of 81. She didn't pass away from breast cancer, but I have it in my family. So that's also something that I always tell people why that's been my platform all these years for pageantry. Has been breast cancer awareness with the concentration of health prevention. Because not only, breast cancer is the main thing, but you also need to take care of yourself throughout the year. Because a lot of times, sometimes cancer is unavoidable, but sometimes if you eat right, if you do exercise, if you take do precautions and do health checkups, you could sometimes catch it early. So that is what I also promote through pageantry, not only just through me. So that's where I want to make sure I give you the health tips and give you everything that you need to know and who to contact, who all of that through also my platforms. So
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe if you don't have anybody for feature in November, I can do that. I'm doing a women's transformational retreat in December.
Oh,
So I would
nice.
love to get out there as on as many platforms as I can.
We definitely could talk. Yes, I would love.
For
I would
sure.
love to tell her story for you as well. Yes. So yeah. But yeah. So that's really what all about. But you and I've talked so many times about really being that vessel for so many people because you never know who may need your services. You may never know who that could use other people's services. So being that having platforms, being able to get things across and connecting so many people to other things, it's really one of my joys of my
Mhm.
life. So that's kind of
Yeah.
how I always say that's how I find joy. Being a
And
bridge,
nice.
being able how people say I'm the plug. I don't really say I'm the plug. I just know how to search. I'm a search engine. So
Okay.
so you will to know certain things, certain aspects. I'm not trying to be a know-it-all. I kind of just try to have a lot of knowledge because now I never will be without. That's kind of where I am. I would never be without. Once you get to certain parts of your life where you feel at the bottom, you would never be there once you know the resources to help
Mhm.
yourself along with others. So, as the song say, I encourage you while I encourage myself.
Beautiful. Well, I can't think of any better way to wrap it up. I want to ask you, my sister, what do you have anything else other than the magazine coming up soon?
No, that's all I have right now. Coming up.
And is it
Just
in
so
physical print circulation or just online?
it's online.
Okay.
It's only online. They can look at City Girl Atlanta magazine, but it's only virtual. So
Okay.
virtual right
Okay.
now. So we have a print issue coming out, but mine is only virtual right now.
Awesome. So where can people find you, follow you, support you?
On Instagram, you can find me at SBX Wonderful. That's ONEDERFUL. That's on Instagram. And they can find me on Facebook at Shauna Rixter on Facebook. And if you would like to send me inquiries, you can email me at Atlanta, ATLANTA at citygirl.com. If you have inquiries or if you just want to be featured on my magazine, you can contact me there or contact me at wonderfulconnects@gmail.com.
All right. So that Instagram is SBX Wonderful. What?
That's it.
Oh,
SVX
okay.
Wonderful for
Girl, I kind of
IG.
put it in the comment. Oh Lord. Y'all killing me with the past. So all of
Yeah.
you out there who might want to be an intern or an assistant for me, I need you back.
My
Trying
sister
to
needs your help.
maintain this thing, doing the sound, doing the comments, watching the comments. I got my phone. I'm trying to. Where is my phone? Lord, oh, phone's
You're a
over here.
one woman show. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, I am, and I want to give a shout out to some people who jumped on that I might not have shouted out: Victoria, MJ, Valerie, Ray, Sharon. Hey. So yes, make sure I thank you all for tuning in. We are going to get out of here. We went a little bit long this evening, but I am so glad that you came. I'm so grateful that you were able to get past your past and that you and your daughter have a beautiful relationship. You are out here inspiring and encouraging mothers by telling your story. Go get Broken
You can
Crayon
DM
Still
me.
Color.
Y'all have my Instagram and my Facebook, so just hit me up if y'all want a
Yes,
copy. I'll
Broken
sign it.
Crayon Still
Hit me up so
Color.
you can so I can sign it for you. So if you want a physical copy, so
That title all by itself. And oh, let me tell you this, Shauna. You probably don't know this. You were actually one of the few people in the world who were a witness. We had an experience with our group of girlfriends a few months ago, and you might have heard some words spoken to me. And I was like you said, you didn't feel like you had a story. I just finished my first book because of that night. I it
Yay!
just hit me. You were there that night.
I
And
love it.
I can't even remember who whispered in my ear and said something to me in my knees. But I remember what she said, but I don't remember who it was. I was just in a zone. We had such a powerful man. We were praying, we were sharing,
Mm-hmm.
it was a whole beautiful entire fellowship.
Yeah.
You were there. You were one of the few people in that room. So I
Mm-hmm.
just finished my book Saturday.
Yeah,
So
congratulations. I'm so
I
happy
want
for
to,
you. I'm proud of
yeah,
you. I'm proud
that's
of
why I
you.
want
I'm
to do
glad.
that
Because I
November
also
list.
told you. I told you that night, do it. Don't
You
stop.
did.
I told you that night. I said, everything that you are have been manifesting, it's going to come to pass. And I need you to just do it. Don't hesitate. Just get out there and do it. And I'm happy that you're doing it. I'm amazed.
It's
So
done. I
I'm
wrote
honored
it.
to be a part of your journey to greatness through this podcast platform. So
And be on the lookout for this retreat, December 2nd and 3rd, man. It's going down.
yes,
It's
I'm excited.
going down. And it's going to be something so powerful. I have some amazing ladies. Sorry, men, it's only for the ladies. But I even have today, I just added one more workshop. And it is, I have a tax and a financial expert. So we're teaching you how to set your trust up. We are
Nice.
that in and of itself is going to be worth the price of admission. But teaching you how to set
Wow.
up your trust, we have the whole full estate planning suite and your tax. I can't remember the phrase that they use, but it's not just like tax readiness, whatever. But listen, this thing what I'm wanting to do is make sure that my ladies that come to this conference leave first of all, mind blown because they're not going to expect all that they're going to get. I'm going to deliver tremendous value, but your life will not be the same. You will not be in my presence for 2 days and leave the way you walked in there. I promise you that. If you open your mind and receive the experience, I'm telling you, I have gotten such a download and it's time to give it away. I'm telling you, I've never put myself out there like this. This is
Mm-hmm.
about to be it's going to be game changing for me too. But make sure December 2nd and 3rd that you have your calendar open. Don't go blowing all your money on Black Friday. I said Good Friday, Black Friday, buying stuff you and your family don't need. You don't need another daggone giant TV. You don't. Don't tell yourself you do because you don't.
You may. That's
I don't care if
right.
it's 6K and last year you bought 4K. You don't need another TV. Stop it. Start investing. Start investing in your future. Start investing in your growth, in your personal development, so that
Mm-hmm.
you can start to see a return. The best thing you can invest in, not even the stock market, is you.
Mm-hmm.
That is the best investment, man. But I'm not gonna get on the soapbox, man, because I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. I just wanted to share that because I thought about it. Oh my gosh, you were there. So
I'm
just
happy.
know it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. And next time you are in the if you're ever in town on a Tuesday, check me out. I'm president of my Toastmasters Club. Come through Tuesday
Okay.
night, 7:15. We have a good time. I'm giving a speech this week, so anybody want to come? I don't know what I'm talking about yet. I tend to do my speeches like on Monday. I write it and then I memorize it and then I go I'm really actually I'm pretty good at giving the speeches. I got my flaws to work on, so I'm working on those. They give me the feedback. I'm like, dang, you said that the last 2 times. That means I ain't get no better.
You're gonna,
So
the more you speak, you'll get better and better. So
well, my pen game is wicked, but my issue is I know what my issue. I'm not even gonna tell you because if you come see it, I want to know your raw reaction to see if I do this thing. It's this one thing that I do, but I still my message is always on point. It's like bam, bam, bam. I'm
it is
feeding you.
every week. So I know that
Yeah, I'm feeding them,
because you
but
stay
you know,
popping.
it's just this one thing that I do, and I got that same piece of feedback 3 times now. So I'm like, I thought I was over it. I'm not. So yes, I want y'all to come out. If you're in Atlanta, Elizabeth Baptist Church, 4245 Cascade Road, 7:15 this Tuesday night. Your girl is giving a speech. It's going down. I don't know what I'm talking about yet. This is how gifted God made me because I do it the last minute and then I go in there and you think I wrote it a month ago. So I'm proud to stand on that. Let's get it.
I
So,
love
you
it.
know how we sign out? We say, stay poppin'.
Keep popping. Ew.
Good night.
Night.